From the library's homepage, to access PsycInfo, I'm going to go to the research guides and scroll down to the Psychological Sciences Research Guide. And here are all the psychology databases listed. So I'm going to click on PsycInfo and PsycArticles. And we purchased this database from a company called EBSCO, so the search interface may look familiar to you. We have several databases that look the same way. So from here, you can start entering your keywords. So let's say I want to know why I am a shopaholic. Okay, so that keyword matched two results. The first one is a book review that doesn't really look like what I'm looking for. The second one, though, does look like it might be relevant. It's about compulsive buying. It's a dissertation. But there are probably more than two results on this topic. Another keyword that I already have in mind is retail therapy. So let's say you wanted articles with either the word shopaholic or the phrase retail therapy. You could just type "or" into the search box, and it will give you results with either of those terms. So now I have a few more, and they're actually looking pretty good. Benefits of retail therapy, reducing sadness, retail therapy, enjoyment of consumer, improving mood, and so on and so on. So these are looking pretty relevant at first glance. I would go through these 11 articles, and I would look at them a little bit closer at this point. Mainly read the abstract and decide if this is something you might want to read in depth. If so, put it in your folder so that you can find the full text later on. I would go through several, all 11 of these. And once you get used to the interface, you'll be able to skim through these pretty quickly. And anything that looks interesting, just add to your folder. There it goes. Add to folder. We'll come back at the end and retrieve all the items in our folder. But for now, I would just continue my search. So I want to run another search because I'm sure there's even more articles using different terminology on this topic. So one thing that I do is let the database help me with the terminology, and if you'll notice under each article there are subject headings. So I pay a lot of attention to these subject headings to help me search. I see consumer behavior show up in a lot of these results, so that might be a good thing to search for. There's some other things like sadness, self-control, shopping, pleasure, impulsiveness, self-control again. So you'll find a lot of things here that will help you out. So let's just go back and do another search with some of these subject headings that I have found. Okay, so let's do consumer behavior. Consumer behavior, okay. And I'll probably get thousands of results with just that subject heading. But if I add another one using this search box, let's do consumer behavior and shopping. Then it narrows it down. So the search boxes are set up for you to do a Boolean search using "and" as the connector. And so if you add another term, you should get even fewer, more specific results. So let's see, I want to narrow this down to look at sadness. So that narrowed it down quite a bit. And from here, you could try to expand that a little bit. So think about synonyms or related terms for each of these. So sadness or depression, for example. And that gives me a few more. Okay, so you're going to try lots of different searches with the subject headings that you find as you go along. And again, looking through results, looking at abstracts, putting anything that looks interesting into your folder. The last thing you might want to do, especially if you're not getting good results, is to look at the PsycInfo thesaurus. So the thesaurus is the preferred terminology of the database. So for example, if you look for something like joy, does shopping bring you joy? Is there a subject heading for joy? And the thesaurus tells you to use instead the subject term happiness. So you could click on happiness and select that term and add it to your search. Or if you click on happiness, you can see where it shows up in the thesaurus, and you might even get some other ideas. It has a broader term for emotional states. So if you just want to know how shopping affects emotions in general and not just happiness, you might choose emotional states instead. So that added that subject heading to the search box. Now it's by itself right now, so we have to go back and add shopping. And then we have some more results to look through. In our next video, I'll show you how to limit your search to empirical articles and review articles, and how to find the full text.